What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland. On this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about all things dealing with fragrances. If you have any interest in that kind of content, learning more about fragrances, top 10 lists, reviews, tips and tricks, all those kind of things, you're in the right place. Make sure you join the Fresh Squad today. How do you do that? It's simple. You just click that subscribe button and we take care of the rest. You're part of the freshest squad on this planet, and it costs you nothing, and you can always change your mind later if for some reason you want to do that, but would love to have you as a part of the squad. Please hit that like button while you're at it. It really does help with my visibility across YouTube. Thank you so much in advance. Today we are talking about super fresh fragrances, some of the freshest scents that I have in my collection. When you just want to smell fresh and clean, doesn't matter what time of the year it is, sometimes you just want to smell fresh, or you want to smell something fresh, and that is what we're talking about today. I have 10 wonderful picks. We have a wide variety, not only in terms of scent profile, but also in terms of price. So there's a little bit of something for everyone, and we're gonna not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. This first one up here at number 10, I haven't talked about this fragrance in a long time. I think I heard it's discontinued, but I'm not sure about that, but I think you can still find it out there, and then for not too bad of a price. Especially on Amazon, I saw it for less than 50 bucks for I think 120 mils to 125 milliliters. This is from Guerlain, from their Acqua Allegoria line. This is called Herba Fresca. One of the freshest scents probably in the collection, based on very green mint. Almost like a spearmint. Very minty, a little bit floral. There's some tea in there that kind of gives it a soothing quality. It basically smells like chewing gum, not like toothpaste, because that kind of mint, not so good. That's usually more on the creamy side of things. This is very green, very herbaceous, fresh mint, but kind of chewing gum-ish, very refreshing if you like the smell of minty gum. But there's a little bit more to it than that. You got to check out Herba Fresca. This will definitely keep you smelling fresh. People might think you're chewing gum when they walk by you, but be like, no, I'm wearing Guerlain. Anyway, that is Herba Fresca. Here at number 9, okay, this is probably the most inexpensive fragrance on this list by far. I think you can find this currently for about 35 bucks. This is coming from Authenticity Perfumes. I talk about them all the time. They have great selection, great fragrances that last a very long time, that are fresh and are pretty much going to get you compliments. And this is the one that's perfect for the hotter weather, when you want to smell fresh, but again, these are strong, so you can wear it anytime. This is called Summer Vibes. This is a reformulation of it. They had a first rendition, which I actually wasn't crazy about, but they actually kind of refined it here. It smells really good, and it's a little bit more complex than you might think, especially at first spray. It's a lot of citruses and aromatic notes. You got tangerine in there, maybe some mandarin orange and bergamot and things like that. Some lavender is in here that makes it, again, quite aromatic. But as it dries, you have apparently some cannabis in there. It gets a little bit musky. They really improved it, I gotta say. Again, I wasn't crazy about the first version, but this one is much better. And again, not gonna break the bank. 35 bucks, no problem. Have you smelling fresh and clean all day. That is Summer Vibes from Authenticity Perfumes. All right, up next, this is a very special fragrance. Wow. Now, one thing to note about this one is pretty dang light. It doesn't last long. I'm gonna spray it in the air just so I can get a fresh spray around me. This is invigorating stuff. Wow, beautiful fragrance. My mouth is watering. This is coming from Atelier des Ors, and this is called Riviera Drive. Very interesting scent. Lots of lemon. You get a very juicy, mouth-watering lemon to start. It's quite aromatic with some rosemary as well, a little bit herbaceous. But it's a little unusual. Not so much that it's off-putting or anything like that, but there's absinthe in here, which adds this very interesting kind of like sharp, boozy quality. It doesn't smell like alcohol though. It's almost more of an herbaceous kind of sharpness. It's kind of hard to describe, but As it mixes with the lemon, it just makes it kind of intoxicating. And it does dry down to be a little bit woody and musky, really beautiful fragrance, perfect for the hot weather. Very refreshing, very attractive, and perfectly unisex. And also a very beautiful bottle with these gold flakes that just make you feel so posh. Trust me, you can't smell the gold, but you can see it, it's in there. A luxurious scent, just gonna last you a few hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours max during the day, but it smells fantastic the whole time. That is Riviera Drive. You can definitely overspray this one. Here at number 7, one of my longtime favorites. This one easily overlooked in the line. I think it's discontinued, but I think it's still available once again from the house of Valentino. This is Uomo, Acqua. A flanker to the Uomo line, which again, I think is mostly discontinued aside from some of the newer renditions, which are not very good, honestly. They're just kind of basic, but this is a very interesting scent profile. Very unusual, but still comes off quite appealing, easy to wear, very attractive, something to wear during the daytime. This is a little bit floral, fresh, powdery iris in there, but you have an interestingly green tomato leaf, which makes it just different. It has this aquatic touch. I'm not exactly sure where that's coming from. It doesn't smell like sea salty. It's a little sweet. It's quite sweet actually. There's a juicy citrusy quality to it. You have that powdery iris and you have a little bit of that green tomato leaf touch. It's a very unique scent, very elegant, perfect for the daytime. Not the best performance, but not bad. I get 5-6 hours out of this maybe. Very fresh, very uplifting, but in a unique and elegant way. That is Valentino Uomo Acqua. Definitely recommend checking this out if you can get your hands on it. All right, here at number 6. Now, believe it or not, at one time, this was basically my favorite fragrance from the house of Creed. It is no longer, and my favorite fragrance from the house is not on this list. It could have been on this list. There's a few fragrances I could have included, but I'm trying to change it up for you guys, give you some different fragrances, because I can just include my favorites all the time, but I have others that don't get as much reach and don't get much talk here on YouTube. I want to include them. This one included. No one really talks about this one all that much. I have seen Chad from A Gentleman's Journey touch on this here and there. This is called Royal Water. I used to talk about this a lot more back in the day. I haven't worn this in a while, but every time I come back to it, I'm reminded that it is a very beautiful fragrance. Kind of smells the way it sounds. It is a little bit watery, very fresh. You get lots of mint in here, lots of basil in here, green, herbaceous. You also get some juicy, bright, very photorealistic citruses, and it dries down again, mostly into some green basil. I think with some woods in there, maybe some musk. It's quite a simple scent profile. It has a little bit of a vintage flair to it. I think this came out in the 1990s. It kind of smells like it, but way more upscale than everything else that was popular in the designer market at that time. But a great scent, again, easily overlooked from the house, but I do recommend checking it out if you're looking for an easy to wear fresh scent that has a little bit of a unique personality to it. That is Royal Water. All right, into the top 5. Now this number 5 here is a brand new release. Just came out within the past couple months, or less than that, and it's been making some waves here on YouTube and in the community. There's some mixed views about it. I'm enjoying it a little bit more every time I wear it, but it's not ultimately what I was hoping it would be. But it's still a very good scent, easy to wear. This is coming from Hermes. This is H24, their newest release, and their latest release for men since Terre d'Hermes, that DNA, which came out in like the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, something like that. So it's been a while since we've gotten a new DNA that is marketed for men, but all that to say, you wear whatever you want, no matter who you are. Doesn't matter what they say. This fragrance, very simple. You have a little bit of this green herbaceous quality in there from clary sage, a little bit sweet as well. They don't claim that there's any citruses in here if you look on their website, but every time I smell it, I smell citrus. At the top, I smell like bergamot or something like that. I think it's in here. That's just me. You also get some narcissus, which is kind of an earthy, damp green quality. It's a floral, but it doesn't really smell like a flower, so to speak. You do have some rosewood in here, which is, again, just a little woody as it dries. And you also have some metallic notes that kind of make this fragrance smell, as people say, a little bit like an iron pressed shirt. It smells kind of like metal in a way. This very fresh, cooling, metallic quality alongside these more natural ingredients. And I think it's well done for what it is. Again, for the simplicity. Is it amazing? Does it blow my mind? No, not at all. There's not much here. And as it dries, it gets a little bit linear. It's very pleasant. I think it's a little too simple though. That's just me. Hopefully they got something else coming that's a little bit more exciting, but great fresh scent for when you want to smell fresh and classy. I would wear this kind of in the same situations as that Valentino. This one is not quite as soft and elegant as that, but still kind of an upscale daytime wear. Not discounted yet, but if you want to go in on a full bottle, there'll be links down below. All right, here at number 4, this is a special fragrance. This fragrance was sent to me by a brand new fragrance house based in Kuwait. And I'm really excited because I haven't smelled any fragrances coming out of Kuwait. And they sent me all their fragrances, and I have to say I'm very impressed for what they do, and especially with how much they cost. They're not the cheapest, but they're still very, very reasonable. This fragrance house is called Sia Perfumes. They took the word and they kind of gave it a new treatment. I like what they did. Now this particular fragrance is called Fjord. I have 3 others from the brand that I'll talk about later, probably on my Instagram page, so you can check it out here. But I'm gonna talk about Fjord now because this is the freshest offering of the 4, and this is a lovely scent. To sum it up, this is kind of a fougere in a way, kind of a watery fougere. It's very sharp and bright up top with some citruses. I think you get lemon in here, very sharp. So you gotta like a sharp citrus note that makes your mouth water because it's in here and it's coming for you. But you do have a nice clean aromatic nature from some lavender. You also have some geranium, and it's also a little bit spicy with some pink pepper and even some cardamom. So these elements so far that I've listed are kind of hallmark elements of a fougere. You have citruses, you have some herbs, you have some spices, and we need woods, and we have woods. We have vetiver in here that does come through as it dries. There's a little bit of amber to give it this kind of sweet warmth as it dries down. So it does have some legs. This is great in the performance department. You're gonna get 8+ hours out of this. It stays fresh. It smells better and better as it dries. Again, you gotta like a sharp opening to enjoy the opening, but after that opening, and trust me, I love it because I do love intense, sharp citrus, but after it kind of dissipates, it gets so smooth, almost gets this creamy barbershop style quality. Again, kind of turns into a fougere. It smells wonderful, and again, it's gonna last pretty much all day. They are shipping from Kuwait, so it might take a little while as far as I know. I think the 50 milliliter bottle for Fjord is currently $63, so not bad at all. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking for something a little different, but still very wearable. I can't really compare this to anything. Same goes for all the fragrances in the collection. They're all pretty unique, and I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna link to Sia Perfumes in the description. Check them out. At the very least, for the fresh scents, check out Fjord. They do have others that are really good. Again, I'll talk about them later. But Fjord is definitely worth checking out. Here at number 3, we have an absolute classic. This came out in 1989. I featured this on my spring designer fragrances list just a few weeks ago, and I cannot get enough of this stuff. I don't know what it is. When it dries, it has such a beautiful complexity to it that kind of creeps up on you. It smells simple up top, but man, this stuff is special. This is Alfred sung Homme. Again, 1989. I was born that year. And you know, I love this. When you first smell this, it might remind you of your uncle or something like that. It does smell like the early 90s. It's this kind of sharp, fresh, herbaceous, soapy quality in there. It kind of smells like the color of the juice. I love this, by the way. It smells the way that this looks. I think there's a ton of lavender in here, but there's a lot of notes. I don't even know what they all are, but as it dries, it gets sweet, kind of warm and musky and woody. And again, it gets a little bit complex. I had this on my arm earlier today, and I was running around the house doing things, and I kept catching whiffs after 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, man, what is that? And I had all kind of things smelling here. I got something here that smells good. Smelling there. What is it?
It's the freaking Alfred song.
This is a classic. It's not going to cost you much. I'm going to have a link down below. You can probably get this in the $20 range, I'm pretty sure. Man, if you're looking for something a little bit classic, a little bit nostalgic, but just smells damn good, and it dries down to be kind of sexy in a way, but stays very fresh, check it out. Links down below. Wow, here at number 2. One of my favorite fresh fragrances, period, hence why it is here near the top of the list. This is coming from the House of Argos Fragrances, and this is one of their flagships, one of their originals, the OG Pour Homme, but in a new bottle. This is the 30 milliliter size. I've talked all about the 30 ml sizes. Check out this video if you want to know everything that's amazing that's packed into this little package here. It kind of reminds me of, this might sound crazy, an even more refined version of Green Irish Tweed. It is in that realm of being fresh and green, citrusy, not all that soapy though. This is more on the woody side of things. It's such a beautiful blend. It's honestly hard to distinguish all the notes. It has a creaminess to it. It has, again, a greenness to it. It is quite fresh. It is very just refined, very elegant. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't come at me with these pitchforks. Green Irish Tweed is a wonderful fragrance. I love it. Could have been on this list, but again, we all know about it. We've been talking about it. I'm trying to change it up. So I'm talking about Argos Pour Homme today. Again, not saying that they smell the same. They don't. But that's the closest I could get. This smells so good. If you like a fresh scent with some oomph to it, with some legs to it, it has a robust heart and base. It's gonna last and it's gonna smell fantastic for most of the day. And I do have a discount code, FRESH10, gets you 10% off any purchase. I do get a little bit of a kickback from every sale using that code, but it comes at no extra cost to you. So I do hope you consider, at the very least, checking out Argos fragrances for yourself. They do have a great sample pack. Links down below. All right, here at number 1. This was one of my most worn fragrances of last year. If you saw that video I did back in the end of December of last year, then you might have an idea at least what brand this is coming from. A French house based around horses. Many of you probably already know. From Parfums de Marly, Sedley. Man, this is a great scent. Wow. This is the 2020 update. So this came out a couple years ago. The performance wasn't great. They listened to people. They redid it, made it stronger, and it's better. I get a good 7 hours out of this. It smells wonderful. It smells very crisp. You get a very juicy, kind of sweet mandarin orange with mint. Very crisp. It's hard to describe. It's like, imagine like a mint leaf with water droplets on it in the early morning, and you're eating a mandarin orange. It's beautiful, but it's smooth and rounded out with some musks and things like that. I think there are some more synthetic ingredients in here, but they really do help round out the scent, give it a little bit of an edge to it in terms of a sex appeal, and they also make it last a little bit longer. So synthetics do play a really great role, and they really help out with Sedley from Parfums de Marly. I'm gonna link some ways to sample this. I'm pretty certain Decant X has this. You can get it in multiple sizes if you want to sample it in a smaller size before you go in on a full bottle. But man, this is a great fresh scent. High quality stuff, very elegant. Probably gonna garner compliments because it's done it for me, but I can't speak for you. You gotta try it yourself, but I love this stuff. That is Sedley from Parfums de Marly. That is my list of fresh fragrances. You gotta check them out. Again, links will be down below for every fragrance that we talked about. I would love to know your opinion on these fragrances. If you've tried any of them, if you own any of them, if you hate any of them, if you love any of them, let's talk about it. Or you can tell me about your favorite one fresh scent that is not on this list. You already know, I wanna know. If you like the video, please like the video. It means the absolute world to me. And again, it helps me out so much. And please join the Fresh Squad if you haven't already. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to grow. Let's take over the world. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.